Hello, one and all, and welcome to a very exciting ending here for the journey that has been the Champion Bracket Division run through the Crown Cup Season 2 here. And I'm joined by the very lovely and very dapper Mr. Ebroth as well, who has been following this story, following these tales, letting them unravel much better and much more closely than I. So, Ebroth, how are you doing? How are you looking forward to the match coming up today?
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good, and everyone watching is doing good as well. It has been a fun tournament so far. Serial with Applejuice has been pretty much dominating the entire Champions division here, and just pretty much only lost one map, or lost two maps throughout the entire tournament so far. It's gonna be really interesting to see if Project Devotion can bring it back after being knocked down to the lower bracket by Cereal with Applejuice in round 2.
Yeah, it is quite a nice concoction we have here. You know, the underdog run, the lower bracket, and everyone loves to see it. But of course, the grudge match, is definitely going to be a nice bit of spice to layer on top of the stakes for this match, which I've been told earlier by yourself are possibly a matter of life and death, as you did say that if Cereal with Applejuice do win, you would try cereal with apple juice, and you also said that you are allergic to apple juice. So I don't know if we should hold you to that. I don't know what kind of allergy it is. If it is like what kind of consequences are there? I don't know if that's like a deadly a mortal weakness or just like a.
It's the kind of allergy where you kind of want to stick a fork down your throat because it itches so hard.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think when we do come to predictions, I'm gonna guess quite a bit of bias against cereal with apple juice. We're quite gonna be on the side of Project Devotion. And I mean, they're quite a nice team to root for. They were quite competitive. I think they did take a map against Cereal with Apple Juice in their last encounter, but they did get knocked down. And Cereal with Apple Juice have not been infallible. They have been dropping maps here and there. They have been struggling, and the maps have been somewhat close. They still, though, are the dominant force coming into this grand final. Our best of 7 finale here to really wrap things up and see who can actually make that final gap, whose fingertips that are teasing at that crown can finally grasp it for themselves. And I think both teams will be hungry for this win. I'm quite familiar with a lot of the names on the rosters we have coming up soon, but what are your thoughts coming into this match on what your expectations are to see between these two rosters in their fray?
I think based on what I've seen so far in the tournament, I think Cereal with Applejuice is going to take this kind of dominantly. But I think Project Devotion has a pretty good chance if Joe can pretty much like put his leader hat on and just like keep his team in check, because that's what made them win against Bombadil in the lower brackets finals.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense match from last stream that I was able to see, and I think definitely that is the performance they need to replicate here again to take this championship for themselves. There are some other factors, of course, that they can try and use their advantage, because there is an extra tactical layer in this upcoming match, as this tournament has been employing hero bans. It's a very similar system to the Esports World Cup for all of our fellow Overwatch esports viewers and avid watchers. But for those that aren't aware, these teams are going to be able to pick a ban for one of the heroes themselves. The team that picks the map, I think the highest seed first up, will also pick the ban initially. That hero will not be played for both of these teams, and that hero can also not be banned by that same team. So it's going to be quite a lot of layers, quite a lot of connecting strings that really can be pulled to make quite a nice tapestry of tactics and of misdirection. Mind games can also come into it. So I think it's definitely a really nice element we get to see in this tournament coming up. And I think you might be aware of these players, in their terms of their hero pools are better than I. So what do you kind of expect to see coming out in terms of hero bans over the course of this grand final?
Well, both teams seem to be very adept and prefer dive comps. So it might be that they're going to try to ban like parts of what the other team does well in a dive. But then again, like you have to always be a bit scared when it comes to hero bans for your strategy is kind of backfiring on you. because I've seen in the past like people banning Kiriko because the other team is very good at Junker Queen comp. So trying to shut down that composition by banning Kiriko. But then the other team just went Ana, and then you had double antis, and you get stunned.
Yeah. It's definitely requires a lot more adaptability, a lot more on the fly kind of coordination and quick thinking to really turn a terror band into your favor. Because it is a double-edged sword. It can really go either way in tipping the scales. But rather than just kind of, guesstimating a bit, let's actually have a look at the rosters. I think we have the first team, I believe, was Project Devotion. Might be a good one to look at. They are, of course, the underdogs coming up. And here they are: Fly High, Jamal, Joe, Ribbit, and Yite. Some familiar names across the board, but especially to those in the first season of Crown Cup, as Yite was in the Challenge Division. They did make it into top 3. Being dropped out by Void just shy of the grand finals, but now they've manned the grand finals in season 2 in the higher division. So of course, big props to them. We like to see someone really going up through the ladder and really coming out to look on top. We saw some hints there. We saw Winston, Juno, Lucio. I mean, the guy's called Ribbit. I kind of, it's a bit to be expected. But yeah, it is like that Winston kind of composition, that dive kind of composition. Definitely adding a lot of emphasis, like I said, on Joe to really be the leader. I've known Joe, I've run a fair few times to the team. Him and Jamal have a lot of chemistry, a lot of synergy. But I think that is definitely going to be the key to their success here, is really sticking together and making it all play to their strengths. But talking about strength, there's quite an obvious one you can get into for our second roster here, which is going to be Serial with Applejuice. I mean, you can see it right away, Ebroth. You can take it away what you think the center point of this team is going to be.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious with Mordex picking the Hammond as his favorite pick here. It's gonna play really well into the kind of style where you disrupt the enemy team, you boop them around, you make them not able to set up, and then you have your DPS come in from different angles, picking up people that get booped out of the core. But it's also a really hard composition to play, especially against another dive team, because you have to be so quick to disrupt the dive setup to be able to do anything.
Yeah, if you give that inch to Joe, he will take a mile. They will get that set up. They will get the 4-man dive, and that will be, a big kill. The ball, definitely the big disruption. The Ana, the Brig, it is, the antithesis, the polar opposite, I think. I mean, maybe polar opposite a bit too far, but it is kind of often the real competition to the Lucio Kid that have been so prevalent in this current meta, this hazard meta that has definitely, I think, favored a lot more this Lucio Kiriko, because just how potent these one-shots from the hazards can be. But I think given the, more of a, I don't want to say one trick, but let's say more of a specialized tank player that Mordox is, I do expect we'll continue to see Bull. And I don't think it's necessarily fair to call that a weakness, because there is definitely still counter phase of hazard. He definitely has a bit of a streamlined kind of playstyle that I'm sure we will see play out a lot. It's all these big short engages. So like you said, if they can keep the disruption going, buy them time, let their DPS really thrive, then that will be there. Basically the crown secured, the crown just falling lightly into their hands. But if we can talk a bit more about the DPS, because we've been focusing on the tanks, which of the kind of names in these two teams stand out to you, would you say, in terms of the DPS prowess we're going to see shortly here on display?
Well, I know from the previous match that I casted, Jamal, when he has space, can do a ton of damage. And I think against Serial with Applejuice, I think Fly High is gonna have a bit more space and a bit more range than he had in the previous match, because he got really unlucky with Bombadil's Junkrat one trick.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a spanner in the works. Not something you normally expect, but I think you have to hope that they have learned something from that, because again, if that's a spammer in the works, this is a wrecking ball in the works. It's a different composition. You can, with these kind of metas, fall into this loop of just scrimming the same metas over and over again. And when a team comes out with a different look, it can kind of throw you off. So you have to be quick to adjust. You have to be very fast to make sure that doesn't catch you off guard, because a slip and the whole domino effect topples you over. I'm going to throw some attention, though, to the DPS. I think you looked at Project Devotion. There definitely are some big notable names there and how they can kind of utilize their playstyles. But on the other side, we have a bit of a bigger pool to pull from, as there are some substitutes available for the side of Seal with Applejuice you might see depending on the maps. One of those is Stennis, who I mostly know from playing the Widow, so maybe when we come to watch one Gibraltar or something like that, we'll maybe see them play. But the two starters for them are going to be Asu. Oh my goodness, my memory is failing me at the worst time. I'm going to have to just briefly look at the sheet. It's Sten. Oh no, I got my names right. It's Elliot that's in. Elliot and Stennis are quite good friends, so I expect some good synergy come out if they are both getting playtime. But Stennis is actually mostly known for his Echo. This is actually a pretty high-level player, played in Face It Masters for Mythical Minions, which it's a real struggle to take was a straight face, but we did it. Let's go. They are going to be the starters along with Asu. Asu prefers the Cassidy, but I know from my experience, I've just joined a team with the guy, that he is very efficient, very lethal on the Sojourn, has proficiency with the Tracer as well. So I do think there will be, again, it is kind of not the ideal, like, super comfort. Like, it's not like, what's your best picks for the hero pool? Genji, Sojourn. These guys have different kind of looks, have different kind of ideals. So will that kind of be able to stand up against that? But talking about those hero bans, talking about hero picks, the first hero ban has come through for our first map, which is going to be Lijiang Towers. Nebroth, it is Serial with Applejuice banning Hazard and Project Devotion banning Echo. Interesting picks there, to say the least.
The banning of Echo on Lijiang, I think, is a bit weird, especially like Control Room. You never basically see flyers unless you have like a one trick that spams far on that map. But on the other two, I guess it kind of makes sense. Banning of Hazard, I'm a bit surprised to see that this early, because I think there's other maps throughout the map pool where Hazard could be a bigger threat. But maybe you see Serial Blood Applejuice just wants to like make sure that they can play their disrupt composition on this first map, get like a quick first map win, and then maybe steamroll from there.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like a bit of a gamble from both sides. I think the Hazard pick, again, like you said, it's surprising to see this early on, but I do kind of understand it. I think both teams are kind of ironically gambling for two different maps. Serial and Applejuice are more afraid of those kind of more brawly maps, maybe like Control Center, maybe even like with Night Market, where Hazard can get those shorter, more effective dives. And Project Devotion are a lot more scared of not Control Center for certain, because again, Stennis is very proficient on the Echo, but I don't think it's something we're going to see, like you said. But for like Tower or Night Market, again, it's quite like an open map in terms of what playstyle. So it's definitely interesting a pick as well to be Lijiang. But I think overall we're probably on the same mindset. I do think that it is probably still just a little bit in favor of Serial with Applejuice, because overall I think we've seen a little bit of a shift towards it being a bit more of this kind of longer dive centric map that definitely is more their cup of tea.
Yeah, but based on the Echo being banned, it's going to be interesting to see what Stennis kind of goes into, considering Echo is his most played hero. Maybe you know more since you know the team a bit better than me. What kind of range he has?
Yeah, I like to wish I knew a bit more. Mostly when I've seen Stennis in ranked, it has been Echo, but like I've mostly run into him on like maps where you pick Echo kind of anyway. He was briefly on a team called Apollo. I didn't see too much of that, but I think he's still quite flexible. This is like, again, a Face It Masters players for. I think I don't doubt he has kind of a Tracer in him. He's a typical flex DPS. Probably a Genji, probably a Pharah as well. If the Echo's banned, the Pharah shift not too much of like a drastic change in how you want to play the whole composition. And again, we're not too sure on this because we're not sure how the roster kind of moves work, but there is an option. They do have subs available. They have Elliot, who can play the Widowmaker, which I think you'll agree probably is not going to be the pick here on Lijiang. I think it's definitely going to be quite a gamble to kind of put all your eggs in that Widow basket. But I mean, Elliot has hit impressive shots in the past when I've seen him, but I think we will just see the roster sticking through. And I think they will just kind of shift, probably send us onto a Pharah, if I had to guess anything at all.
Yeah, Pharah has two maps where she can do quite a bit on Lijiang, but still that control center, I think with a good Hammond, you can still get value from a Pharah, especially if you do like Pharah playing outside and then you have map boops or Hammond boops, like booping people from server room onto point and then doing that splash damage, especially with follow up from a tracer on Asio.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're expecting like a very typical kind of brawl, like I mean, we haven't seen this in like the map where we do see Junkrat, if anywhere, being played. So maybe you kind of, you risk it for the biscuit on that one. You do play the Pharah there. I think it will be kind of up into the air what direction the team want to go. But looking at the momentum, looking at the kind of standings overall, I do think that control center is going to be the focal point. It is going to be where the kind of tides will shift the way of Super Applejuice with this, or towards Project Devotion. Because if Project Devotion win on this map, like it just showed they can play that more brawl style, which we are seeing already here. It's going to be a bit of a very out there look from Cyril with Applejuice, but yeah, that is going to be the pharmacy that we pointed out starting the already a hit going in, forcing out Joe Shao.
And interesting from Project Devotion to go for the Junker Point composition here.
Yeah, it's all about speed, all about getting onto the targets. Right now, Cyril with AJ are so slippery. Even more as Mecha's gone over onto a Lucio Mercy. Definitely super mobile, not very tanky here especially. But, I mean, you've got the kill potential. You've got the damage boost as well. Now raining shots on him. But Jamal has found a trade onto the Genji there. Now it is a one-on-one. The point is still not flipped either way. Both these teams are able to just hold them. Stennis is racking up so quickly onto a barrage here with this damage boost from Fate. One flip does go through to them as well. Project Devotion had to fall back in the meantime, and now this is all going to be about, can Project Devotion survive this initial ball hit, and then can they find a target to connect onto?
It's going to be really difficult for Jamal to get
Fate's...
enough space to do damage, but he does.
Yeah.
Taking up Fate earlier.
Fate getting left all alone, but now we'll be joined by Mecha back in the Swarm Room. Both supports down from Cyril with Applejuice. This is, again, a hyper-aggressive composition, but when they are the ones being aggressed upon, it does all fall apart. Jamal found his second that fight. Does get traded out eventually by Mordox onto this ball, but point, they did get 30% on it, but now it is going back the way of Project Devotion.
Yep, Cyril with Applejuice are playing a composition where it's really hard for Project Devotion to get to anyone. But when they do, they are gonna get those picks. But it's very high level play here. Like Jamal needs to survive the early splash damage to be able to take out anyone here.
Dennis is looking to go in with the barrage. Immediately Joe shuts that down. Only the ground for you, he says, as the Pharah falls from the heavens. But Fate has got the revival over on to the Lucio, but Jamal is still fragging out, immediately looking to take away that Resurrect Impact and find the headshot as well. Jamal, like you said, he is the squishiest target for Project Devotion, but he is making damn good use of every second he's bought to hit these shots.
Absolutely, and he's playing super close to Joe, so he has that shout coming in as well when they engage. Just keeping him alive and giving him that speed boost needed to basically just take out any squishy he can get his eyes on.
Yeah, but the Suzu has been forced there by a nice aggression fly high, and then that means that aggressive rampage from Joe was able to rip and tear, but the Resurrect has actually found them a two-man advantage, as well as the boot from Stennis. Stennis has found two, both supports down. Can they shut him down now? It's only Joe on the point, but 70% has been found. Joe will finally fall there. Nice plays coming from the pharmacy, which, yeah, they're in quite a cramped condition, so they're equally on a timer as much as Jamal to keep finding that impact. But again, it's all on this ball, all on the trace to buy them time. But Stennis, a nice direct to take out Flyhead across the map. That's going to buy them even more time.
Yeah, but that fight had so many ultimates coming through. It was kind of hard to keep track. But Fate getting that res onto Mecha, that was pretty much what they needed to sustain through that fight. And then Project Devotion went a bit too deep and lost the fight.
Yeah, that initial hit was survived, but it did soften everyone up, and now Asu has found his way onto the squishy underbelly, finding two, the ball making it a third, and the point percentage is almost being that. Fate getting a blaster kill onto Fly High as well, rubbing salt on the wound for that fight. And looking at these ults, Ebroth, this is going to be really difficult for Project Devotion to walk into. They're making some swaps to try, try and change things up, and they're going to need to because this could be a final fight here.
Yeah, it is a very, very late swap, and they do have to make it to point to get any value from it. But we do see Jamal going,
my!
Ooh, that is...
Yeah,
far def.
Yeah, they saw the pharmacy and they went, let me show you how it's done. A quick car cue, tips and tricks. And I mean, yeah, that's gonna take quite a few of those for Fly High to dodge that, and it's not gonna come through. An interesting decision there, I will say, to decide to mirror the pharmacy right at the last minute, and a pretty overall close match. But Cyril AJ just kind of really kept snowballing that with the ult situation. But Project Devotion, they've got to be frothing at the mouth. They drew blood there. They got 80% on the point and going to be looking to take 100 this time.
Yep, that was absolutely not one-sided, and I feel like Project Devotion had the right idea. But they kind of got split up a couple of times, and then when they did get an advantage that Cyril with Applejuice kind of managed to live through, they overcommitted, and then Cyril with Applejuice just kind of decimated them.
Yeah, but Project Devotion are starting out on a quite a bit different look here. Jamal going out onto Pharaoh. I've seen this quite a lot from him in previous encounters. I think it's something that he's quite confident being proficient in. Fate has already been found on their lonesome, and Yite will find the finishing blow. Attempted save there coming out from Mech has forced out both CDs, and this is a very sloppy start to this fight. And the ball does find a nice trade onto Jamal. Maybe in a second there, and yeah, they will. I think this is the first point going the way of Project Devotion, the start that you need after that disappointing end.
Yeah, really good aggressive jump in from Joe there, just isolating the Mercy, making sure that like she can't be a part of the fight, which also opens up for the 1v1 versus Jamal and Stennis. And now we see a swap to Baptiste instead of the Mercy.
Yeah, an interesting pick that's already finding that weakness being punished. There's no mobility to escape the onslaught of the Lucio and the Winston here. Two main supports, ironically, in past lives, both running it down in the same mind. And again, will a trade come through? These trades are being found. The second one is on both supports are now down Project Devotion, and Sense makes the point, especially the point flip came through as well. And that fight started so well, but again, Project Devotion just keep getting traded. They're overcommitting and they're falling apart from it. Now, Cyril and AJ are starting to match the percentage.
Yeah, they really have, like, their initial aggression is really good, but then that aggression comes back to bite them in mid-map, or mid-fight there.
Yeah, talking about aggression though, that first kill into the match has already come through. Stennis though, never being left out of the fight. Already has found Fly High. Slow moon projectiles chasing down that fast assassin, taking out that threat. But Stennis looking to do a lot more than just that. Point flip as he's still held on, but right now, whole Project Devotion has come alive. Mind onto the point. The ball thinks it's winnable, and with Joe so low, barely clinging on, maybe it is, but no, it's just going to be a little bit of a stall, a little bit more potential bought. As now the ball will have to try and escape, but no, not with Fly High on the prowl.
Yeah, Mordex may be a bit optimistic with the mine some point there. Maybe he would have liked to save those for a later fight, but we do know like tank ultimates can turn fights that are lost, but a little bit too late on that one.
Yeah, still with AJ. Probably even wishing they had a few more ults in their bank, is looking for promotion. 5 ults on the board. The primal invested from Joe, but the first kill's actually onto Yite. Joe will find the trade onto the Baptiste. Jamal just searching through the skies for the next target. And there it is, a spot onto Mecha there. Right now, Joe is having to run for the hills, but no, it's going to be to the gates of heaven instead. And face tank again, Mordex finding these trades every time. It looks like a clean engage, but the boops, the kills, the slams, everything is just piling on top. And Project Devotion do find some nice cheeky percentage of the point flip. That's gonna be all.
Yeah, I think Joe did a really good job in that fight, nearly winning it with his primal. But Yite dying and making sure that Joe doesn't have that sustain, it's just gonna come back to bite them, because Cyril with Applejuice has both the Kiriko and the Baptiste, so they can sustain for days.
Yeah, and they also have such high DPS Mecha and Fate both employing it perfectly. They're listening and I'm sure showing us that so they can do it, finding 2 picks and keeping each other alive. Joe not able to get the offense going. These supports showing that oftentimes a good offense can just be as good as a nice escape route or a defense. And Yite on a loss of HP, getting slowly staggered out, and that's going to buy even more time. And Zero with Applejuice, they managed to completely turn the ult situations onto their head. They now have 4 ults coming up to Project Devotion's 1.
Yeah, this is going to be a really difficult retake because you have that window, you have mines to basically lock off parts of the map.
Oh my goodness, Frogafan. Yeah, they did not want to. They really are tempting fate there, quite literally. The tracking there, taking out one. Stennis finding 2 with the barrage. Very low HP though, has to flee the scene of the crime. But right now, Joe is even lower. Surely they go down to low HP. And Stennis managed to find a nice mega pack, gets care. The Bull Wave was able to live. And right now, it's smooth sailing for Cyril with Applejuice. Who can turn this around for Project Motion? Jamal is going to be the one to put his name in the ring, but immediately Asu make him get quiet. But can they keep finding? Can it be a big hero play to come through? Nice tracking from Asu to force the blink, force the recall. Joe will find a trade though, and that's the pick you need. It's coming up close, that Primal as well, but Yike has fallen. Joe's found his second. The Primal now in his back pocket. It's a 3 versus 2 onto the point, but face plant Mordex again and again. Every time you think it's within reach, Mordex is there with a boot to knock it away. Joe barely cleaning up HP, has to prop that Primal, but no, the C9, Joe. Oh. Just a little bit too hungry to take out that Trace. I mean, Base's performance, I get it, but you do need to stay on the point that that's a little bit less of a happy ending there. A little bit less of a, well, I feel like losing both maps is overall not particularly a happy place to start with, but definitely that can risk kind of the mentals plummeting down just a little bit.
Yeah, but like, popping the Primal and killing the Tracer is so good there, but then that C9 is so unlucky, and then Ribbit dying just before getting beat as well. But I do have to throw it to Mordex there. Like the mobility that he has and the ability to like use mines to deny space areas and the point in that last fight. Like Project Devotion had to play so safe when those mines came out. And then you had Fate putting up the window on the outside, just making it even harder for them. So like positioning wise, space wise, it's really hard to set up for that kind of fight when you're playing a dive into an area where like you have to go there, but if you go there, you die.
Yeah. It did feel like the composition with the Bap Kiriko, don't see it all too often, to be honest, but with Hazard out of the mix, I do kind of get it. You can be a little bit greedy in knowing that one shot isn't going to come dashing from you over some crazy stall spot, like a deranged looking Batman. But it is definitely like, it did feel that Project Devotion did kind of just play into the hand, into the maniacal plan. The mischief that those supports are able to wreak, just kind of playing their off angles, playing to like basically full DPS. I mean, we kind of know how it is to play with the ball, being like players ourselves. The ball does not really demand that much care. They're quite independent, and it lets you as a support get to work, get to running around, get to DPSing on your own. In the hands of Fate and Mordo, those are DPS that you could really just kind of lobby admin on. And kind of, it looked like Project Devotion really just tunnel visioned on getting the point at times. You got a lot of like cheeky flips, or they would really run it down on one target. But they invested so much, and they invested in a way that it left them so vulnerable. That really was the kind of the tragic end. That yes, the first blow was always going the way of Project Devotion, but the slow, silent killer, that bleed out of resources that everyone on so with Applejuice United that just kind of gouge at that wound and then turn it into a bloodbath, into a massacre that we saw. It was a bit tragic, and I think that is the point, like you said, that Cyril Applejuice need to hold on to. But hopefully in the upcoming map, they can just do that. I do find it a bit interesting as well. What do you think your next move is to go? Like, if you were if you were coaching Project Devotion right now, who would you all kind of get them to ban? Who would you tell them to eliminate quickly?
Well, the next map type is hybrid, so I think like if I were the coach for Project Devotion here, I would try to like create a ban that gets the team kind of back into it, because they lose so closely on the first one, and that's like it kind of depends on the team because I don't know them, but like if they're getting close to getting tilted, I would ban Hammond.
Yeah,
just to kind of give them some breathing room and some space to kind of do their own thing. But if they're like if if their mindset now is like, oh, that was so close, we got the next one, we know what we're doing now. It's a bit more difficult because then you kind of have to look at like what are the biggest issues that they saw from the enemy team. Where are they seeing the openings? And we do have the bans coming up, you know.
I do see them now, thanks to our team for cluing us in, and I think, like you said, these will kind of show where I think the issue is. And right now, that issue seems to be really in Stennis. They're banning Mercy, which definitely is targeted to shut down that damage boost that was letting Stennis really just take his game to the next level. And I find that really interesting because I don't think Mercy is particularly that strong. I think Mercy was kind of the weak point of that collision. We saw them swap off it a fair bit. So I think maybe also it's, I guess, looking at like the silver lining, Project Devotion's heads are definitely still in the game. Their heads are still definitely high, and they're quite, I think quite mentally okay, because I think if you're banning Mercy in a panic, is like that's like your, Godam is banning Mercy, then you're kind of in a bit of a rough situation. So with Applejuice though, a lot more of a straightforward ban Junker Queen for this Icon Wall pick.
Yeah, that also is an interesting one, and it seems like we're going into the map already now. I understand if they would have banned Junker Queen on a more rush or brawl type map, but Icon Wall is so much about like that mobility and dives, especially on like the first 2 points, that it kind of seems like they're banning stuff without like thinking about it.
Yeah, I think maybe there's some extreme paranoia about this first one being a little more dive heavy, but no, Joe, very happy to go over onto this Winston, and that is a dangerous looking bauble. It's not Christmas, so I don't think the camouflage look all too good, but they haven't been spotted and the engagement has come through, but so has the counter attack from Project Devotion. But Joe is solo, a nice route from Stennis as well to deny the escape route, and Frogger fan throws their life to the cause, but I mean, Mordex is just gobbling them all up. Both supports dead, and it's a very, very breezy first fight for Cyril with Applejuice here.
Yep, good late pick from Jamal at the end there, but Moira's quick. She's gonna come back super quick as well. I am a bit interested to see that Jamal is keeping the Genji here. Looking at what Cyril with Applejuice is playing, I would have probably hoped for an Echo here, because I think that's what they need to contest Stennis.
Yeah, but right now, it's not an Echo, it's not a copy at all, it's a very different look. This fight as Project Devotion do get their first hit coming through, and I mean, talking about Deja Vu, I'm getting scared, I'm getting nervous. Project Devotion, the trades are still happening, but no, the numbers finally favor Project Devotion all the way as they take out the ball and finally get this first one. I say finally, it was quite an impressively quick attack here. I mean, AC will get back to contest the point and maybe looking to buy some time. As there are three members back on the point. Mecha solo, Fly High taking them down to 0. Fate did invest that escape tool, and their only escape tool, but Stennis, no escape from Frogger fans there from the top ropes. Just comes Stennis, and now Steel and Applejuice are looking a lot more in command of this fight. But Stennis has found themselves there, but Joe dies to the mines again. The ult's just not there and not ready. I mean, that's such a fast minefield. Jamal does find the trade, but down their tank, they have to wait, and this is buying time for Steel with Applejuice to get comfortable, to get back into the fight.
Yeah, that is probably one of the most impressive recontests I've seen. Just getting in with the Tracer and then making sure the rest of your team can make it, and then you actually win the follow-up fight. That's really well played by Cyril with Applejuice there.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal got his one, but Cyril with AJ has gotten the rest. I say that Flyer will find, again, another trade, but it does not seem like Project Devotion have that kind of trading style and proficiency that Cyril with AJ have just yet. And they also now have 2 ults. But I say that looking at the absolute domination of the market Project Devotion have in ults, it surely has to be their fight to take. It's going to take a real big play coming out from Stennis or Asu, but Joe has already found the first pick, so time is running out.
Yeah, it's always going to come back to... Oh.
Yeah, that is
a
lot of belief behind that ultimate, but a lot of belief We want needed to back up Jamal, but again, the trade has been found by Mordu, but again, it's just them on the point. Yes, the ball can stall for quite some time, but it's not an eternity. The Kiriko has come back. Both CDs invested. They will fall, throwing their life to try and keep Mordu alive for just a little bit, Mordex alive for just a little bit longer, but no, it's not going to be the case.
And well done by Ribbit there to not commit the beat in that fight. Because now they still maintain that ult economy advantage, and I think they're gonna need it in this fight, because second point first fight on Iconmold is really
Oh my, okay, Mecha, okay, alright, that's 3 for the board for you. I mean, I'd love to see a DPS Kiriko, but Project Devotion certainly does not, especially when they invested their own Kitsune Rush fight. And right now, Yite has just been found early. A lot of these engagements, they need to find a way to really make the time count where they can live, because there's only so much a TP and Suzu can get you, especially with how fast your Applejuice can play. But Frogafan, living up to their name, finding a nice kill onto Freight. I'm not sure where that happened, but now this is the opening that Joe needs to go in. Frogafan finding their second this fight. That is what you need to get this cart finally rolling second point here.
Yeah, getting both the supports there are so important.
Stennis got that too. That's okay.
A bit eager maybe.
Oh no. I mean, it's okay. They're actually in the stream. Can we get an e-sick investigation here? But actually, maybe not. As I think that they'd probably be in tears. Another tragedy is unfold. As Project Devotion, they have the ults to invest, but somehow still the AJ, they just find the trades again and again. And Jamal just not able to escape the Moira's wrath there. And now Joe looking for the engagement. Again, they're back on the point. Stennis running for their lives, but a nice right click from Joe getting away. The TP investor as well will actually just end up taking Mecha's own life instead. But the trade has been come through onto Joe. Point though, surely we'll keep rolling. I mean, the ball again is so good at stalling, and yeah, I think that's someone do it again. No, it's Asu to step up first, and again, they're just buying so much time. They had to invest the beat in a 2 versus 4, and it won't even save Fly High. Yes, they'll find the trade onto Fate, but this is looking disastrous. And Yite again gets within a sliver of HP, but right into the barrage. And I mean, Joe finds the pick, but again, it's a 2 versus 2 on the point. The numbers. Project Devotion must hate their mass class at the moment, and Joe's just getting staggered out. Only 1 minute left on the clock, Ebroth. This is all slipping away from Project Devotion.
Like, they're playing so well at the start of every fight. Like, they get 2 picks, like, consistently. But then they just lose somehow.
Yeah.
It seems like if Joe dies, the team dies, it seems.
Yeah, again, he is the calm of the storm, and one trying to lead forward the team. Right now, he's all by himself, and he might invest the Primal here. He has to believe in himself, turn this around. The Primal going a bit wide at the moment. Now he's hunting. He sees the Kiriko. There's no TP to get away with the wall climb. It's sending them flying, but finally the kill comes through. They crash down to earth, sent back to the mortal realm, and now Asu again has found the trade onto Jamal, but finally the cart has kept on rolling. It's so close, but the Mind's just buying more and more time, and a kill onto Frogafan. Fly High getting boots there, but able to save themselves. Only 8 seconds left on the clock. Someone has to touch the point this time. Please make sure someone is on the point. I think Joe is the one playing Minesweeper at the moment, and yes, there will be one possible last fight here. This engagement, but no! Rushes from both sides, not enough to save Jamal. Send us back on this Echo. We can see why it was banned, but Fly High on this Tracer, trying to find the picks, and he will find 2. Joe making that a 3rd for them. Rogafan is close to a beat. Jamal not able to invest that blade, but Stennis is just sticky after sticky onto targets, and Joe's gone in deep. The bubble will save him though from that ray, and Stennis has to run and grab this Mega.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if Joe survives a fight,
Jamal?
Project Devotion wins.
Oh.
But he's really struggling with the sustain here on. Goes a bit too deep.
Oh. That... I'm not sure what angle that blade was coming from. I believe from what we saw, I think that Jamal was just pincer focused, pixel, like all of his attention onto Stennis and tried to go in with the blade, but they were just cut down by that beam. And I'm not sure if that was a C9 and still going to get 2 kills, but I mean, it just really feel like the odds keep getting stacked against Zero with Applejuice, but they just kick them over like it's Lego. It's not, it's still really the same issues we saw from this first map.
Yeah, based on like a lot of the fights, we see Joe go in super deep and kill one or both of the supports, either with like the help from his team or alone. Like both things happened, right? But it seems like when Joe does that, and he doesn't have a sustain with him, like he doesn't have Yite with him, or Froggerfan is fighting like a different fight. It seems like Joe just doesn't have the sustain and dies, even though he kills two. But then, like, Ball survives on the other side, and just the disruption and the annoyance and damage potential from Mordex on that Ball, it's just enough to win fights, even though Joe killed two. It is so weird to see what is happening here.
Yeah, I mean, weird is definitely, I would even say an understatement looking at Cyril Applejuice comp. Lifeweaver, Reinhardt, Moira. I mean, we saw the Moira last round, but I mean, that Reinhardt's moving like a wrecking ball is already on the flank here, and Flyhigh is on this Sojourn, finally kind of shifting away from the Tracer here, but I mean, Mordex is just in the mix, getting the hammer swinging, and Joe is solo, getting topped up here. Life Grip to pull back, Mordex a fadeaway fire strike, no connection there, but Fate has found one. Stennis as well. All the attention on this big scary rectangle man has let the secret assassins slip around and find their picks, but I mean, I'm not sure how you let Mordex get away with that there. You can't just turn around and look at the Rhine, you have to go in, but Project Devotion, they're scared of the alpha threat, they're scared of the big man, and understandable with a 5-minute time bank to work with. There's a lot this Mr. Reinhardt can do, especially with an early pin. Oh my goodness, Joe, run for the hills. Oh, that's not the hills, Joe, that's the low ground. Oh, yikes. Yeah, Yite tried to save him there, and again the pick has come through, but oh, this is Asu on the Widow, I believe, which is always a nice thing to see, and definitely very much a risky maneuver, but with how scared Project Devotion are being forced to play at the moment, with the unpredictable nature of Cyril Applejuice, I can see it paying off.
Yeah, this is kind of like a showing off comp, I would say.
Yes.
Just...
when Asu, Froggerfan. I mean, it is really asking for it when you go Widow into a person called Froggerfan. They are just going to speed of sound, speed of light, run it into your location. Fly will actually find a nice headshot as they get shattered onto the ground. They're maybe kept alive there. They will, just barely getting to the Mega, but that point is already halfway towards the objective, even with how, I mean, bizarre Cyril Applejuice's competition has been.
Yeah, they're kind of playing a brawl poke composition here where they're making it really hard for Project Devotion to reach anyone. Because they're going super deep with the Reinhardt. They have Stennis and Fate kind of doing flanks, and then you have Lifeweaver and the Widow in the back just doing things.
Yep, there's those flanks. Gonna need a forensics team on that one. Flyhigh obliterated. Yike next on the chopping block, but no Joe yet again. The star of this team at the moment, coming through with 2 picks on this low ground. Swinston definitely, apart from the Rhine, can kind of just free fund the team. But again, talking about free fire, it's an inferno from Stennis. Joe has to pop the primal, it feels like, and now mechanics are really going to put to the test. There's another monkey on the field. He has some competition here, but Joe trying to hunt down onto Fate. Will get the kill. No, the Fate away to save them, and Joe will instead go down themselves. And the 3 minutes on the clock, the golden box of victory in sight. This is going to take a miracle to turn around from Project Devotion.
Absolutely. It's such a weird composition and a weird playstyle that there's no way they could have planned for this.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what an Ajax. No, the cross map pin into Ajax. I mean, it's a whole highlight reel from the Rhine. Fire strike across the map onto the point, getting stick, doesn't even matter. The only explosion is that from the fire strike onto the Tracer themselves. And I mean, what a show. The Shatter as well, finishing off Froggerfan for a second time. This Rhine is just the unstoppable force, and there is no movable object to slow them down. The second map goes the way of Cyril with Applejuice.
That is a that is gonna be a tough loss for Project Devotion.
Yeah, that is one of the losses of all time, I think, is what we'll have to label that as. I'm not sure what else apart from utter insanity, maybe. I mean, this is kind of what well, maybe it's a little bit too egotistical to be like we oracled this, we saw this coming, because I certainly didn't. But we did kind of assume that yes, we would see some more wacky stuff, we would see some more off meta stuff, and we did wonder, can Project Devotion see their new win conditions? Can they see what they need to do to really win these matchups? And it just felt like they were a bit in the dark when it came to that, because really, there is no good point presence outside of that Reinhardt on the point. But if the Reinhardt's on the point, the DPS have no real kind of easy sledgehammer and force to really spearhead their dives. And there's just a lot of options that comp provides in terms of counterplay. But it felt like every option that Project Motion went with was either a bit kind of outdated, or Applejuice and Applejuice had already thought that one through. But yeah, not really the kind of the comp you want to lose to, or the map you want to lose to, given it's a pretty competent one for that composition they were playing onto. So I do wonder where is Project Devotion's head at? Where is their plan to go down the route here? But yeah, I mean, that's our second map of the series, and possibly only 2 more unless they turn it around.
Yeah, and I think Project Devotion is really happy that we're going to a small break between second and third map, because they need some time to think about what they're gonna do for the third map. That was I can only imagine like what the players on Project Devotion are thinking now, because like that Rhine like super aggressive composition with the Echo, with the Moira just going in, and then you have a Widow and a Lifeweaver in the background, just making sure it's super hard to dive them, because you lift people up, you pull people back, and you have grapples and double jumps, and like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that is the question on the minds, but they'll have to let them mull over them that in this short break. Don't go anywhere, unless of course you're gonna get a snack and some water. We'll be back shortly enough with the next couple maps for you, as we finish off this best of 7 grand final for the Champions Division here, Crown Cup Season 2. But until then, we will go to a short break and catch you after. Welcome back, everyone. We are currently awaiting our third map here for our Crown Cup Season 2 Champion Grand Final. So Project Devotion versus Cyril with Applejuice. And being quite honest, I am hoping for a bit of a shake-up because right now it has all been the Cyril with Applejuice show. That should be a real show, if I'm being quite honest. It sounds kind of insane, but I mean, if anyone can write such wacky storylines as a Ryan Lifeweaver on Iconworld winning pretty easily, I think you'd agree, Broth. I think give them the budget, give them the creative control, and let them kind of get to work. But Project Devotion, it's a very different story at the moment. I think hero bans, they did kind of fumble. I think we're okay to say that. With the Mercy ban, I think they would probably recognize that themselves. So I guess if you had to kind of do a bit of telepathy here, what do you think are going on in the scrambled heads of Project Devotion's members right now?
It's so difficult to say, but that, as I was saying before the break, like that one must have been tough. Like, and also looking at the next map type, which is Flashpoint, is because now we've already banned. Or Junker Queen cannot be. No, that was Cyril against that. Like, they could do a Junker Queen comp here again. And kind of hope for the best there. Because considering Cyril with Applejuice banned Junker Queen on Iconwald, it could be that they're kind of fairing it from Project Devotion. I'm trying to throw a bone here. But
yeah. No, I think that's a fair statement because Junker Queen is not particularly that much a prevalent force onto Iconworld, but we do have those hero bands kind of maybe give us a bit more of an insight into the behind the scenes action. And it's going to be New Junk City, which is the pick here. I'm hoping that is the pick coming out from what's the name, Project Devotion, because that is definitely quite a difficult map to run ball on. But I mean, we've seen right at this point. I'm looking forward to the Hog. I'm looking forward to the Zarya. Like, I'm here to see it all. And what we won't be seeing, though, is Moira and D.Va coming out. Project Devotion with the Moira ban and so with Applejuice banning D.Va.
Yeah, the Moira ban I kind of understand because the Moira on the two previous, I think. Because I think they played Moira a little bit on Lijiang as well. I feel like that's one of those, like, annoying ones because it's so hard to catch them. Like, you can catch a Mercy, but catching a Moira, I think it's even harder. Especially when you have the DPS from Cyril with Applejuice just like contesting your own DPS. Like as we saw on Iconworld, like Joe has to dive alone a lot of the time, and he is getting great value from it, but it's not like he needs the rest of his team to be able to do it as well. So I think maybe the Moira ban could be, the idea behind it could be to help with that.
Yeah, I think that Moira, like you said, it's almost like you don't even want to catch them because if you're 1v1ing a Moira in a small room, which noticing there are quite a lot of small and closed spaces, which claustrophobia is not going to be your main threat and fear there. It's going to be that Moira bouncing orbs everywhere, getting lifesteal, building up to another Fade to get away. It's not a fun time to deal with, and especially I think looking at this backline. I mean, Yite and Rogafan, they've had their pop-up moments, they have their individual, flashes of brilliance. But I think the main issue from kind of a outside perspective, and again, it could be from what we're seeing and not seeing, they do seem to be either like fully focused on keeping Joe alive or their DPS alive. And right now, they need to be less of kind of a passive, mitigation and more of an active threat, pairing up with their DPS as a comp. This thrives at, Lucio goes to them with Genji, Kiriko can kind of play off with their Soja another angle, get two great poke angles going in, and you got to make sure you're hitting in a situation where, in an area where your Winston can also get some care coming through from that Kiriko, and that fights are quick, but quickness has not been exactly what a Project Devotion able to achieve. The ball has been a honey they've had to stew on through and clamber to get any kind of progress. It's buying time for the playmakers of Stennis to really get underway. But I mean, okay, they're on Hog. They're actually I'm telepathically communicating with them. I believe, and I mean they are into that Junk Queen though, like you predicted.
Yeah, Project Devotion playing pretty common stuff on this map. Cyril with Applejuice, I think, is just going for max annoyance. with like
Yeah.
the Lifeweaver and the Venture.
Yeah, but that buzzing fly of this competition has been swatted. The first point going to opening up here with Project Devotion taking control, and Aku and Stennis, yeah, definitely very much kind of need to play a lot off each other and off Fate's LOS, but looking how close this map and look at how you definitely want to get close to any in Project Devotion, it's going to be a tall order to get Fate set up, and already Life Grip has been forced out. Isu also on the run as well, having to look for the burrow. Can they get negation off their side? The Hulk is walking in. Are they aware of the danger they are? And the hook has not found the connection, but Rogger fans boop has onto Stennis. A nice aerial takedown from the Lucio. You love to see it when you can. And Joe as well is loving to see Fate nice and close, taking them out. Mecha as well with the supports. No cheeky grip to get them away this time. And yeah, Project Devotion looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, I think Project Devotion saw the composition that Serial with Applejuice is running and just said, don't dare underestimate us. Like, they are playing really good Overwatch here. That break and just the kind of trollish composition from Serial with Applejuice, I think is what they needed right now to just turn it around.
Yeah.
And we do see Mordex now making
on
some
the
steps
Rhine
to adapt to it.
Yeah, but first point, not even a retouch attempted to come through. Just two very clean fights from Project Devotion. Their Discord VC in that break turning into Monastery. They're all monks meditating now, back with new energy, new invigoration to try and shut down Serial with Applejuice with their silly antics. And they also have a lot of ults to do that as well. Mordex had to give up a lot of ult charge, and Fate really has an opportunity. But Joe, a big pin, but a nice cleanse coming out from Yite and the rush as well. This is the go sign, pedal to the metal for Project Devotion, but no kills to come through just yet. But there's Fly High in the nick of time, finding Fate. The barrage not finding any kill. The tree investment. Mordex has found two. A fire strike kill finally being mitigated, but he's found 3-4. Oh my goodness, Mordex is just battering down the entire of Project Devotion. They are just an IKEA furniture that he's built himself into a throne. Fate not very happy, but I mean, his team may suck, but the Rhine certainly does not in that fight. And yeah.
Yeah, Serial with Applejuice had to commit a lot for that fight though. Not a lot in terms of
Oh no!
Huge pin.
What does Mordex have in his pins that my ranked Rhines do not? How is he just suctioned more in? And there's the big shatter, but a nice beat and a great follow-up. Big rampage onto 4 there, connecting onto a couple of kills. Sure, in a second there, Mordex finally taken out. No hero plays from him this time. It's just Asu left onto the point, and I mean, again, they do invest quite a lot, but so do Serial with Applejuice in that fight.
Yeah, that beat was perfect. I think if he delayed 1 more second, that shatter would have had so much value, but just that beat destroyed the entire shatter, and then Joe with a really good queen ult there.
Yeah, but this is not the opening you want. You want to continue to momentum. Stennis finding the echo gap, but Yite finding the support difference onto Fate there. The Kiriko taking out the Baptiste. I think that's a little bit more of a favorable advantage, but Serial and Applejuice are claiming this point. Fly High will step up to deny it at the moment, and Mordex has been isolated. No big pin, no shatter to bail them out, and Stennis has to just watch from above, letting his entire team fall in the wall. Joe just phased through that, and Axu has been just absolutely obliterated by the forces. I mean, that's just I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure what mystical forces Joe tapped into there, but I mean, it's paid off.
Yeah, just really well played by Project Devotion here. Like, Mordex goes in deep, and then they just rotate past him, goes on the backline, and then make him in fight off.
I like this fight attempted from Project Devotion. They try and go in and take the advantage, and oh my goodness, what a nice play coming through, taking the fight, knowing that Serial just have to send someone to point. They managed to now even up the man advantage from doing so, and Joe also finds Mordex. That's a big pick. Stennis is so close to this queen out, letting it unleash onto the enemy queen as well. But Stennis managed to dodge the enemy queen out as well. It catches onto no one, and it's all the Stennis show at the moment. Aku finally there to shut things down, but oh my goodness, Project Devotion really had it on the line, but Jamal is back, looking to really shut things down, but there's, I mean, no help for him at the moment. Have to rejoin his team back in the spawn for the next fight.
Yeah, good taking advantage of standing. That is kind of thought they won the point, standing still, trolling a bit. Jamal comes in with those stickies and just obliterate. Sadly, it's not enough for Project Devotion, but I feel like the way they're playing now, they have a really good chance. Like, they've identified that Mordex goes deep, and whenever he does that, they rotate around the line charging in, and then goes on the back line. I think they need to continue doing that, and just, like, don't focus so much on the tank here. Like, now is your cue to go in.
And going in they are, but Jamal has now a Reinhardt on the prowl behind him. The tree forced out, but it won't save from the headshot there from Yike. Jamal also taking out Stennis. No stickies to turn this fight around, surely. A knife onto the Reinhardt as well. Sure, the next target, but no, it's the Baptiste that's all the way behind Yike. Second headshot kill this fight. You love to see it. AQ finally finds a trade here, but it's not going to be that story we've seen all too often of trades bleeding out Project Devotion, as they will instead start ticking up point percentage here on our third flashpoint.
Yeah, they're really making use of the lack of mobility from the Reinhardt here. Just they see the Reinhardt going one place, they're all going the other way. Just try and catch up Fate off guard. That's basically what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, but Fate looking to keep themselves alive, keep themselves aware, having to best both cooldowns against Fly High, but they will buy themselves some time. But Mecha is all out of it. Yike finally tapping into this damage so they can really dish out. But Mordek is on the point, has to try and swat at this Lucio that's clinging on, just dancing and dodging. Just a full choreography all the way around him, and he just can't. He has to just stand there and watch. But someone that's getting active, someone that's getting the ball. It's going to be Aceo, a nice melee kill, and a big shatter onto Joe. The beat to save them yet again. Frogafan getting some good ults in this match, but can the post bomb from AQ? All the shots coming enough, but Stennis is also back with an ultimate of their own and a beam to cut Joe in two. And the point is still ticking up. 94% taken for Project Devotion, and maybe even 100 as if you had to even invest that post bomb as well. But that's a nice fight. Project Devotion has to be happy with how much percentage you got.
Yeah, the Froggerfan really contesting point there, just flying, dancing, as you said, around Mordex, making sure his presence alone cannot cap point, and just getting it up to 99. Now they just need to win one more fight on this part of the map, and they absolutely have a chance to do that reverse sweep.
Yeah, Isu in the backline, but right now it's the entire front line crumbling around them. Joe has found one, make that a second as well as Fate. Yike as well. Jamal onto Mecha. Everyone is all leaving Mordex alone. I'm not sure there's any amount of pins this guy can get to turn this one. And surely it'll be this third flashpoint going the way of Project Devotion. Now, they're only one away from starting to try and equalize his map score, trying to turn the sweep around.
Yeah, Project Devotion has really figured out how to play against with Applejuice on this point now. Just making sure that Reinhardt is the last person to die and don't focus the tank. And just playing really good Overwatch here. Just good rotations and good coordination.
Yeah, but there's a second tank we have to look at on the field now. Stennis copying the Drunk Queen, finding two. No Queen up for them this time, but maybe in Last Final Life as a parting gift on to Ribbit there, but no, they will escape back to their spawn. There's a bit of a questionable ult investment as that ult doesn't really get them any percentage, but Ace looking to find the kills in neutral, but Joe will find Stennis, punishing them even more. Fly High with a pulse onto Mecha as well. Everyone in Project Devotion stepping up in their own right, and first point has been stolen here for a brief amount of time, but with how Project Devotion are rolling on in, it's going to take a big play from someone to turn this around.
Yeah, I think in that fight, everyone except Mordex was in the fight. And even though Stennis got a couple of kills, Project Devotion just came back before the point flipped, while Mordex was trying to cap it. And yeah, they just turned it around. Just really, really well played, like team-wise. Really good communications coming out here, I think.
Yeah, and there also is an element of hubris we can see with this Serial Applejuice. It's very, very greedy. I mean, yes, it does kind of make sense in how you want to play it, but it is a bit disconnected in terms of DPS line, and it's not exactly what is strong suit. What is a strong suit is going to be Joe running it down with the double speed boost as well. Make that a triple as Yike invests that Kira Crush to make sure this fight goes nice and cleanly. The backline crumbles for Serial with Applejuice, and right now it's looking like their stew is not exactly not coming together. The ingredients are not really playing all their parts as one would expect with Cereal with Applejuice. There is a bit of a disconnect in how they want to be invested. But I mean, Jamal, that's a very confident engagement. Actually, looking at the time back, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Someone has to get a very fast touch here from Cereal with Applejuice. orbital rate is invested, but can someone even get the touch? And Joe still has this being out the back pocket, but waiting to use it. And I mean, Project Devotion looked like a whole different team.
Yeah. It kind of makes what I said make sense a bit more now, with like them banning Junker Queen on Eichenwald. I think it might actually be them fairing Joe on Junker Queen, because this play was so good. And just like the team play around it, and you can see the team leadership, because I think they realized that Mordex goes deep onto point every fight when he plays Ryan. He did that on Eichenwald also. And I think they just realized by letting him do that and just kill his backline. Like,
yeah.
Just let the Reinhardt be wherever he wants to be, and then just don't be there yourself. That is basically how they're playing it right now, and it's working really well.
Yeah. It's quite ironic as well, because whilst Project Devotion have kind of very much shifted their play style into like how they execute it, it does feel like Project Devotion, Serial Applejuice are playing like a ball composition in the body. It's like a hamster spinning in the wheel of that crazy rectangle German shield man, but it's clearly not working out, because yeah, you can't just run and stall point for everyone. Ryan, yes, you can get some nice pins here and there, you get some nice fire strikes, nice shatters, but when your backline, like I said, is just getting run down, because while they have a Juno ring, there's also that one speed compared to the 3 or 2 even that Project Devotion always have ready to let rip and just zoom towards the opposition. So I think especially with these map picks and hero bans, that they do have a lot of options, because I do wonder, I don't think you can play ball on that map. I think it really does not play to ball strength at all, or very easily, let's say. So I think if Project Devotion can find more of these maps, find more of the situations where they force Serial Applejuice out of their comfort zone, then you could be escaping the death by allergy. I think today, I think this could definitely really be a nice turnaround.
Yeah. Some really interesting bans coming out now, because next map type is Escort, and they have picked Revolter. And Serial with Applejuice is banning Winston.
I think that kind of makes sense. I assume maybe we'll see in the lineup. Like Winston, it's quite funny because like Project Devotion have also kind of like a very traditional ban. The competition we've kind of seen almost religiously here is Winston, Widow, Tracer, Brig, Ana. But now it's going to require some kind of adaptation. I do really like Project Devotion here, as Winston is one of Joe's best heroes. And I think the ball can work a whole lot better on Watch Gibraltar than it can on Junk City. So can they find the answer to that ball composition? Yes, they've been playing a kind of pseudo version of it against the Reinhardt, but now it's the real deal. And do they have the real answer? That is going to be the question I have for this upcoming match, to be quite honest with you, Edroth. But what are you feeling? What's your concerns? What are you looking forward to see?
Like, banning Winston on Gibraltar is kind of like a troll thing to do in general, because that's like, it is the best Winston map in my opinion, and it is the funnest map to watch Winston being played on.
Yeah,
because he has so much range on that map. But if Serial with Applejuice are going for that ball composition, I think on defense we might actually see like a Ryan car wash kind of hold, because I have seen that coming back a little bit lately.
Yeah.
But then again, like Project Devotion is banning Widow, so I think they know what they're going to do here, because they don't have like deep dives, which means they're making sure that the enemy backline doesn't have long range hit scan. So I think maybe we get to see a bit of Diva, or we get to see like something, or maybe even Hazard, to be honest.
Well, they're hovering a Junker Queen, but yeah, it's a pretty expected look from Serial with Applejuice here. Ashu going to be on to this Ashes Tennis on that very feared Echo. I bet Project Devotion will be boasting they can ban it twice. Early Dynamite here from Ashu, but Joe rolling out on the Junker Queen, I'm not a big fan of. Yes, with Applejuice, have not made any fans out of me with banning Winston on this lovely map, but I mean, it's a very it's a very difficult situation to get your Queen high ground. But I mean, they're already halfway there. They've already found their way onto Fate, and yes, Aishu does get a trade onto their Lucius. Now their speed is effectively cut in half. Sten is still on the high ground, still stalling the point for so long, but that is a pretty effective opening.
Yeah, and it seems like they're trying to do the same thing that they did against the Reinhardt here, where just Mordex just sets up on point trying to contest it for as long as possible, and Project Devotion is like, nah, we're not going to deal with that, we're just going to kill you as a point.
Yeah.
So it seems like the same strategy they had on New Junk City is kind of working so far.
You see Joe pinging there onto this brig. There is the speed and the shout invested. Jamal's found way onto the backside, and Joe also going to flip the mecha over there as well. Joe finding 2 with a knife, both supports dead, and that's what you need. Stennis, though, is going to find their 2 and make that a 3rd as they will die themselves. But Froggerfan has kept the man advantage in their favor, but there is a spawn advantage drastic in the side with Applejuice here. Fate's also gone over onto this Kiriko, so a lot quicker get back, which means the Project Devotion don't get the cap just yet, especially with the headshot from Fate.
Yeah, that's a really good kill there. But Jamal comes in, kills Azu, but sadly not quite enough to cap the point here. 37 centimeters away. That's very close to capping here.
Yeah, but those few pixels can feel like a mile if not careful. But Joe is already on the point, very aggressively hit, but Fate is just headshot after headshot, forcing them running away to the safety of the loving arms of their Kiriko. They have to actually go in for an effective fight here. The Mordex has these mines, Yite investing that rush, but again, Fate with headshot onto Fly High to open things up. Yite looking to shut them down in the favor though, but Mordex again has found the trade. The backline is falling apart. Yite's Kiriko rush completely unusable from those mines, and they've had to run basically into second point here, and Yite's been found by Senes. Suzu's been forced. Joe's found the trade onto Fate. The blade is out. They're so low, and Joe, that is a confident Queen ult that will rightfully, I think, fall over. And Senes is just picking up the kills. That fade away under Jamal was just clean.
Yeah, in the beginning of that fight, I was thinking like, oh, Project Devotion, what they're doing here is pretty good because they're getting out like copy, they're getting out mines by just using Kitsune Rush. But then they commit more ultimates. But now we see Joe swapping, so that might be why the Queen Rush came in.
My faith in Joe Nation, Joe fan club is restored, but the Stennis fan club is just as loud as ever. Stennis has found Jamal there. Fly High, Pulse Bomb going a little bit wide, so close to Fate actually, but just no cigar there. Ace on the high ground, pestering Joe, and I mean, this is kind of the issue that D.Va has. She doesn't have like an easier way to get onto this hit scan that she would like to, and especially with how many stickies are being passed around. But Fate falling now means all of the burden of healing is onto Mecha on this brig. Right now, it's Joe that's solo, almost going through, but the beat is good from Ribbit there, and Jamal is just doing better. Aishu falls there, no Bob available. Actually, I think they did invest the Bob. I'm not sure where it's gone. I think it's gone into a service, and oh no, it will catch Joe's mech with the help of Mordex. That's a crucial pick. And Stennis has also found Froggerfan, who's trying to chase the kills, and Stennis again. This guy is lighting up the kill feed, making sure we remember his name. And right now, Project Devotion, Jamal is going to try and claw back this win, but again, a headshot from Stennis is going to bleed the time down basically to 0, and now it's an overtime situation. No blade available. Yite is closing in on this rush, but Stennis has a copy, and Joe has a minefield to battle through. It's going to have to be brute force from someone on Project Devotion. Joe does not even have the bomb to keep themselves back in the fray, and the overtime is ticking down. Rush out. Mordex takes out Yite for their troubles. A blade finding nothing, and it will only take out a mine in the fight, but it's not going to be enough, and Project Devotion get held at first point.
Yeah. The frustrating thing about this is when they were playing Junker Queen, they were kind of winning.
Yeah.
And I think if they just realized that Serial with Applejuice used too many ultimates to hold that so close to the cap, they just realized and saved that Junker Queen ult and the blade for the next fight, I think they would have kept this.
Yeah.
I think that overcommitment and then swapping because swapping, I kind of think that came back to bite them a bit there.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a lot of faith put on their ability to play the Junk Queen combos. I think it's rarely scrambled on this map, and kind of for good reason. You can see Joe did feel me to go over onto that diva a little bit more traditional pick, but like you said, Junk Queen got him the furthest, honestly, out of all the compositions. And when they went to the diva, they were just at that ult deficit. They could not climb back from the abyss, and now they are threatened to be in a 3-1 situation, almost on match point here if Cyril and Applejuice get their way. Right now, okay, like, what is going on? Are they actually going to do the Rhine car wash? Like, are we actually secretly the coaches all along? Is that their... Like, we've seen Hog when we said Hog. We've seen so many wacky picks come out, but no, they're playing high ground with the Rhine and the Brig Kiriko. This is going to have to be very informative gameplay, if I'm being quite honest, because I do not see the vision.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out as well, because when I saw the Rhine, I thought about the car wash, but then it's like, why do you have a Kiriko not a Baptiste?
Yeah, it's I mean, they have now gone over onto this car wash. I think that was the plan all along, but I mean, there's so many angles where that person can get to. One less though, with a nice headshot from Jamal onto Ashu, and that is how you want to start things off, but the end is just it's already inside that golden box victory, and now so Applejuice are on this high ground, Pickle chilling. And there's no real way to clear them off easily, which means it's all going to be on Cyril Applejuice's time to get this hit going. And Fly High has gone high ground, as the name would imply, but he is all on his lonesome now, getting chased down. Oh.
Yeah, that's unlucky, but Project Devotion is playing a really interesting and good thing here, but it's one of those, like, it's really easy to counter.
I mean, we're seeing it here, like, yeah, Fly High went to go and kill a high ground, because if you don't, you will just fall over, right? Like, the break and the Rhine shot can only buy you so much time, and now time is everything to Project Devotion. Wish they have just a few more seconds of it. There's 2 minutes 30 seconds for a few more meters, and Eshu is going to take out Fly High. That's the big X factor. Project Devotion taken out. Jamal has a high noon coming up, as does Yite with this Kira Crush, but they're so low. Antonis is following right behind. Rockets onto Jamal. The high noon invested, but immediately straight to bed. I mean, Jamal is trying to find anything as his team hold onto the puck. There's a minefield there, and Joe is trying desperately not to get booped off. Fly High has returned, and Jamal going over onto Sombra for a panic. And actually bought just enough time, but actually was in the back, pressuring onto Yite, and there is the minefield kill. And yeah, not the map you want to see in terms of Project Devotion getting any real momentum. But I mean, it's just clinical from Cyril with Applejuice, to be honest.
Yeah. Thinking about it now, I realize why they play the Kiriko, because they realized that if they ended up playing the car wash, because the easiest way to deal with a Reinhardt team playing in that car wash is just you have an Ana go on high ground on blue box, throw a nade in, and you win the fight.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it makes sense. But then again, like, Kiriko Bap would have probably been better and just played for like absolute sustain and make sure that you cannot get moved out of that position.
Yeah.
And in that sense, like, really interesting to see Fly High playing on that high ground.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I realize why they're doing it, because they're trying to deny what I just said with like an Ana setting up or something like that. But Fly High has been kind of struggling in the 1v1 so far.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, it's especially unfair as well when, I mean, you see a Tracer all on their lonesome playing high ground. It's already burnt blinks to get there. Hey guys, we have a ball, we have a Tracer, we have our own Kiriko. Let's go run at that Tracer, because that pick is a pick. Like, yes, it's Tracer and get back into the fight, and it's like not as, obviously crucial, but I mean, again, it's like everyone has these different ideas on how they want to play this composition. Yes, you've got the Rhine Shield, which is a way to block nade, but they're not confident in that, so they have to go Kiriko. But they still want the Brig to peel, but the Kiriko wants to kind of get away, and it's all just a jumble mess. And honestly, if I'm being brutally honest with you, I love the fact you're trying to save this competition for them, but honestly, it was just a big old mistake in my opinion. It was just, they needed to believe in themselves. They can win a dive mirror. This is, a dive map. Historically, every single time outside of, like, I guess, goats we've seen on this map, dive has been the answer. And now you've kind of you've shown your hand, you've shown you aren't confident in matching that. You have shown you always want to play this brawl, and while they will get up to their next map pick here, you know, it is still really, you do not have the best confidence. It's going to have to take a real momentous push at the start to get your head back in the driver's seat, to get ready and raring, to get back what's going to have to be a reverse sweep here.
Yeah, and I think one good thing for Project Devotion is that the next map is a push map. And push maps are usually really good for Junker Queen. So it is one of those, like, they really do have a good chance here. And now it seems like they are going hard for the win. Now the Hammond ban finally comes out.
Yeah. This is do or die. Look, we are at match point literally, but if the momentum does not start, if that redemption arc does not start to form, it's over. It's gonna be a win for the side of Applejuice. They will have the crown on their head and Project Devotion at their feet. And yeah, like you said, the big guns coming out, Bull banned and Lucio banned as well from Applejuice. I think it's also a pretty fairly impactful ban coming out. Applejuice, they want to end this now. They're banning, the namesake of Project Devotion's Lucio player. They are a Lucio player, so we'll have to see how they adapt to that. Maybe we'll see a Juno, maybe we'll see a Brig. I think it's good that you banned the Bull now, because I think without a Lucio, you're a lot more stagnant, a lot more easily just, dive bombed in by that kind of composition. So I think this is the first ban I'm happy with from Project Devotion, but it is kind of the obvious choice into Mordex.
Yeah, I feel like both teams have really thought these bans through on this map. Like, we're going to Coliseum. Like, we're not going to be a ball from Cyril with Applejuice, and there's not going to be a rivet on Lucio. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they both adapt to this. I think a Rhine composition can work on Coliseum pretty well, and especially Rhine into Queen can work. But then again, like, no Lucio with a Rhine is also gonna be difficult in that sense. But then again, Mordex hasn't been playing with a Lucio on Rhine so far.
Yeah, he's been playing with Lifeweaver and still winning with that, so...
Yeah. So this one is going to be, like, very interesting, and I think we're really going to see the strengths of both teams come out here.
Definitely. We should be heading into this possible final map unless Project Devotion can finally throw an obstacle in the way of Cyril with Applejuice. They don't have their typical, ball to roll over. Right now, it's only Mordex are waiting on to choose their tank. Bated breaths, I'm sure, from everyone, especially Project Devotion, as they are going over to the Juno with the Kira. Because, I think a lot more powerful, I would say, in terms of like raw output and with their ultimate in a lot of situations, but a lot less survivable. And there's the Hog from Mordex. I mean, it's an interesting matchup into the Queen. I think quite a favorable one for Project Devotion. So this is going to be, all eyes on them. They're going to be feeling the pressure here and now. They need to step up.
Yeah, I think last time Cyril with Applejuice tried the Hog towards Project Devotion was on the New Junk City, and that did not work for them at all. So let's see if Project Devotion can do a repeat of that.
I mean, the only thing repeating right now is going to be the addition of some clips to Senes's next montage, I'm sure, as he's already found the opening 2 picks. And like you said, this Jamal has not really shown a lot of comfort in going and directly matching Senes on the Deca for good reason. I mean, outside of that first map we got banned, Senes in fact has been playing it at every possible opportunity. And I mean, the hook, oh my goodness, you can see the cogs churning in Mordex's brain and just outputting a maniacal play. I mean, Fly High, the ancestors are feeling that one, but I mean, so is Fate feeling Jamal's blade. That's a first pick for Project Devotion. I'm sure this is the turning turn number. Senes is yet again on the flank. Sticky's beam everything onto Ribbit there, and that will find the trade. But again, it's so all over the place for Project Devotion. Every win feels like they have to claw it away.
Yeah, they are really trying, or they really have to try as best as they can here. Like, there's nothing, like, if they do a minor slip, Cyril with Applejuice is just gonna walk over them here now. So they just have to, like, as the kids say, lock in, and just play the best of what they can, and just like absolutely listen to Joe's calls, because I think that's going to be so important in this on this map.
But this duel we've seen again a lot, Joe and Jamal. Right now it's Jamal that is the one taking that initial action, but Yite gonna get caught. That's a really bad pick. Time is ticking out. Those health bars are gonna stay low for the most Project Devotion unless Ribbit has anything to say. And right now they're all having to run for the hills. Tennis has a Queen out on the horizon. It's connected onto Joe. They're forced out of their form. Life Grip's 2 meters away, but the stickies are also gonna send Fly High running. And Ashu is taking everyone so low, but not to zero. Crucially, everyone clings on. Oh, I say right as Joe slips into the next realm, and Fate also takes out Yite. I'm so sorry for the curse I just put on Project Devotion, as now they will probably have to contend with a point cap here from Cyril with Applejuice.
Yeah, they're gonna get that cap, get the forward spawns, and Project Devotion really needs to take like a quick breather, properly like regroup, and then do a super good fight here to manage it. Oh.
Well, yeah, super good is not what I describe your play rate. Getting to 0 kills, the only person getting killed is your Genji. His Mordex has managed to, I don't know if Holgrowups even exists, but somehow he's gotten their spawn, but somehow Joe has found 2 picks, Fly High as well, finally equalizing the numbers game here. And Fate is still on this high ground. Ribbit going the challenge, but thinking the better of it, and right now they're just stealing the bot finally back towards the barricade.
Yeah, and I think this is a good play by them. Just don't take the fight. Don't do the same mistake they did earlier by taking the fight towards their own spawn there. And just take the bot and push it as far as they can.
Mordex has just gone up and basically snuck up onto Joe, but there's no more stealth anymore. There's just a Hoggle in the face. No kill to come through. There's a nice care coming out from Yai, even more as amplified by that rush, but it's not enough to save Joe, but it is enough to find the trade onto Fate. Yai has to find some crazy headshots. There's a big, chunky health ball, but Jamal is over on the Reaper now. There's anyone that can take it out, it's gonna be him, but no, Stennis has taken out his partner in climb. Fly High missing in action, and Jamal will find him back in the spawn room shortly enough. And a science of Project Devotion supports have found each other, but they've also found a very angry Stennis going after him, and there's a Bob on the field? Or was it the bubble running out? Oh, it was.
Yeah. The Reaper pick is kind of interesting here, because I think like they're trying to counter Mordex a bit, because he's being so annoying. But the downside of...
yeah. I think the Mecha got maybe a little bit of a cash incentive to maybe pull his teammate back towards enemy team there, but hey, you gotta get your earnings somehow in the Overwatch scene, and Jamal is looking to be the moneymaker this next fight with his reroll setting up already, but Fate's already sniffed him out.
Yeah, and as I was saying, like the Reaper ult is good against Hog, or Reaper in general is good against Hog, but it's not very good against what Asu is playing. Like, if the Ashe gets any angle on you and you're not close, like the Reaper's not gonna have much value. So you need that speed and you need that coordination to get the Reaper in to get value, like they just did now.
Yeah, but Jamal has to trade his life for it. But Project Devotion have gotten the lead in this whole kerfuffle, and now Joe might look to continue. There's a nice double axe there. Will buy him a much reduced cooldown. Can that keep him alive? Ribbit doing their best as well. And Joe will also take out Mecha. They're full HP now with the rush, chasing down onto the lone straggler, the Moira, running for this mini pack. But Stennis, again, these sticky bombs just shredding through every health bar they come across. And I mean, they do get the lead, actually. That is a really, really crucial element of that fight. But still with Applejuice, they're looking to very much reclaim that title.
Yeah, I feel like Joe is now holding his ultimate a bit too long. I feel like he's scared to commit. So it's probably gonna be one of those fights where he just commits to be able to commit, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him.
Oh well. Yeah, there's not a lot of biting going from anything. I say, actually, as it was, I think, quite a nice zoning on them, maybe to get Aishu out of the fight, but Fate's looking to not have a zoning here, just a straight killing one, especially with the backing of Stennis' beam. Everyone's so low, and Stennis now rejuvenated with a rush and a shout. Try and chase down Jamal, but actually, Jamal will take out his teammate in Fate, and there's no way he can win this one, not even all the stickies in the world.
Yeah, Jamal playing really well here. Just Also the support from Yite keeping him alive there. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Because Stennis in most of the fights so far has been able to win those.
I don't think Yite can do much about that one. Jamal, a little bit overzealous to get back into the fight. I mean, they had built a very nicely quick Reaper ult, but have to wait for the next fight to employ it. And now that opens up this next neutral fight with Cyril and Applejuice to go through. But what a knife from Joe. Can it convert it to a kill? Yes, it will. Joe looking British with that knife accuracy there, and he has a Queen ult to maybe look to continue on this. But no, it's going to be Jamal finding the continuation instead. And this is what you need from Project Devotion. They're taking full advantage of the lack of ball in the play. They're doing all the balling themselves.
Yeah, now they're forcing Cyril with Applejuice to play something different. It's pretty much the same thing that ended up happening on New Junk City. And I think if Project Devotion remember how they did it the last time, they should be able to get good luck this time.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a bit of deja vu there. They're just running it down at Aishu there. The Kiriko invested and Jamal just powered up on top of it. And Joe also powering down the lights on Mordex there. That's a bit of a paranoid orbital array. I'm not sure what they saw, but I mean, hey, we're all pressing Q together. We don't want to feel left out, I think, here, because Jamal does invest that, and they have to use 3 fights there. But I see him on my screen, and I fear. Oh, Ebroth, it's a Malga.
It's a wow. Cyril with Applejuice really wants to finish this series out now.
The worst part is, I think it's a really bad comp for Malga to play into, but hey, that damage is immediately paying off. But oh, what a nice rush the knife. They're not able to connect like last time, but Zenith is looking to show him how it's done. Trying to look for the Queen gap here, not able to find the Queen ult, and Jamal has found 2 in the meantime. And Zenith clinging onto that mini for warmth, but Aku, a cold-hearted killer on the high ground. 1 kill, 2 kill, body shot bandit paying off, getting cared out by their brig there. I say, nope, it's just going to be their Moorish and keep them alive. And Zenith will find that kill. Project Devotion have such a nice lead, and it's only, I think, a minute and a half to go for Applejuice.
Yeah, but it is what people are saying, like on push maps, the first 8 minutes don't count.
True.
So this last minute is basically the only thing that counts on a push map, unless you just win every fight and push it all the way through from the beginning. So now the interesting thing is going to happen, and it is a really weird composition that Cyril with Applejuice is having now. Like a Widow with a Morga is not common.
Yeah. What's also not common is the flanking Moira coming up with such effectiveness. And I mean, Project Devotion just walk into that rally there from Mecha. Big stuns coming through as well. And this has to be worrying for Project Devotion. They know that if they let Cyril AJ just keep on marching, couple more fight wins, and that lead they've battled and devoted so much blood, sweat, and tears to take will all slip away. And with Aishu up on the higher ground, a couple of headshots could be all the time they need.
No one can hide.
Yeah, and Jamal reacting to that, swapping to the Genji to be able to contest the Widow here.
Oh my goodness, Aishu, what a headshot. I'm not sure how that made a connection, but overtime has been triggered. But with Immortal also finding headshots up onto Yite, and the checkpoint having been found, also built up to so many ults. Project Devotion, I mean, we talked about blood, sweat, and tears, but you're going to be adding a whole lot more sweat into that cost, as right now time is ticking down, but so is the meters. And look at the ults they have. It's going to be basically only the support ults. Maybe Joe can build a nice quick Queen ult here, but Zenith has been so deadly with these Queen ults, and he's found a lone Jamal on the flank. There's the rush from Yite out onto the point. It's now or never, Project Devotion. There is the Coalescence. It's going to try and take out the Juno, but she's able to get over terrain, keep herself alive, not remember longer, and Juno has found 2, make that 3, Mordex in the cage, not able to keep himself alive, but Zenith is back on the Queen, finding Queen out onto her counterpart. Now she is the tank, but she also has to be the savior of this map. It's going to be a tall order, and right now Zenith cannot reach those heights, as Fly High will finally cut them down to size, and Project Devotion have taken their second map here and bought themselves a couple more attempts to take this crown here, the grand finals. I mean, they made it close, sure, what Applejuice did. They really, really did, but they hold on. Project Devotion, nail biter indeed. But yeah, Ebroth, I think you do have to wonder how much of this is from the hero ban and how much of this can you replicate now with that hero band being locked out of your possession.
Yeah, it absolutely helps that Hammond was not a factor there. You kind of saw that on Mordex, a bit desperate to find something that works. Just like Hog, Ryan, and then Morga. That kind of reeks a little bit of desperation. And also, like, Stennis doing his absolute best to carry. Like, that man is a menace on that Echo. It's scary.
Yeah, Stennis the Menace. Yeah. It's a new. It's like we're making a whole TV series here for Cereal with Applejuice. You know, they've got their villain, they got their rhyming names and everything, but hopefully they are going to be looking for that nice cinematic ending. I'm sure there'll be some claims they're just throwing to make it a little more exciting, but I think there was a little bit of throwing. You could argue, but I don't think it's in the way of they're just actually throwing. I think the real thing is I'm not sure where the terrifying and nightmarish thought to play Malga came from, because you're into a Reaper Queen, and if there's anything that we've seen that Malga does not like playing into, it's Reaper Queen. You can't go in safely. They have 2 shotguns, well, I guess 3 with the Reaper having 2 himself and Queen having her 1. Queen's able to live for so much kind of more reliably than the Malga. Once you have that initial stomp in and the shout, you are kind of done and dusted. That is your big investment right there. But we'll have to see, will this behavior continue? Will Still with Applejuice let this crown slip so close, just 1 map away from their reach, from being placed upon their heads? Or will Project Devotion snap out of it, keep going, keep living on in the face of the threat that will be Mordex's ball now fully unleashed? We'll have to find out after our short break here. So stick around and keep it tuned. Hello, one and all. Welcome back again. Our second break here, but it's been non-stop gas for both of these teams. They know how close to the finish line they are in our best of 7 grand finals. Of course, still with Applejuice being only 1 map away, and with the second map being taken by Project Devotion, they are now 2 maps away from that similar threshold to finally get this Crown Cup championship under their belt. Ebroth, that was a pretty close match, but like we talked about before the break, we do, the longevity of Project Devotion's strengths is a bit on the line. I'm not sure how many maps they have left to go to, and obviously the hero bans are getting thinner and thinner by the minute, by the map, because again, once you banned once, you can't ban again. So we are getting down to those last ever important straws for both of these teams.
Yeah, and I don't know about like you were doing a really good job casting those last couple of fights, but I was like holding my breath. It's like when we went to break, I was like,
yeah. There was
such a good map.
There was so much going on. Like I was halfway through a sentence, and then something else massive happened, and it was just like really everything all over at once, just across the field. We saw that crazy flank finish on a hunt down Jamal escaping with his life, the cage invested, the queen ult there, the copy as well, everything coming out. But at the end of the day, it was Project Devotion that dragged themselves over the line. But it was kind of scary how close that map got, considering the early lead. Like you joked at the start, the first 8 minutes of the map didn't count, but like it was kind of true. Like it really came down to those last couple fights. And yeah, but we do have another brief announcement to make about our rookie division, as I think the final group stage match has ended here. We can see the nice, lovely bracket. A lot of teams across the board. The 2, though, that just played the final match for group stages was Bowman versus Pandora. Pandora, unfortunately, finishing with a win record of 0-4. They, of course, did their best, but just at the moment not able to really get a grasp of this meta. Bowman, I think, was actually, ironically, the first team I saw embrace the hazard. Spike, I gassed up his hazard on stream. He's posted his montage in the Crown Cup Discord. It's great to see, and it's great to see a really, a young, fresh team, a lot of potential rising up. They do take the map, the series 3-1 in their favor. You cast, I think, a little bit more of the rookie division than I. So, what are your thoughts looking at the rest of this bracket, Ebroth?
I sadly haven't seen any of the matches from the rookie division.
I'm just a liar.
It is a bit unlucky for Bowman, because it looks like even though they managed to get a win today, they barely don't make it to playoffs, because I think only the top 2 teams from each group makes it into playoffs.
Okay. So yeah, we got that. I was about to like try and do some mental maths here, but no, we got it all great and laid out for my caveman brains. Me Bad Kit Lions versus Kira, and NA team versus Sherry Gump. That I mean, come on, guys, you're not making it kind of easy, but
Great Monkey Banana Hunter. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, if that's not the name, they should go for it. That's a win there, to be honest. But yeah, some interesting matches up. So keep your eyes peeled on all of our socials for when those maps get streamed. If that's the case, we are still doing our best to show you the matches that we can. But going back to Film 1 right now, the bans have just been revealed to us, and it's going to be Ilios and a Kiriko ban from Silver Applejuice and a Farah ban from Project Devotion.
Yeah, they are really leaning into what they're learning about the other teams throughout the series here. I think still with Applejuice after that last map, and after losing the flashpoint, I think they know that the biggest fear they have is the Junker Queen composition. And just banning Kiriko is a big part of that. But I would say that the Kiriko is mostly important in a Junker Queen composition if you're mirroring. I think there are ways of getting around, like as I mentioned at the beginning of stream, like I've seen teams do this because they fear a Junker Queen composition, and then the Junker Queen comp is played with an Ana, and then you basically like you don't have a Kiriko of your own to do anything against either the Queen ult or the Ana nades, so you kind of get like double countered by your own ban. But it's going to be interesting to see what Project Devotion can do about it. and also banning Pharah. They know Stennis is a menace, as we said. So I think that just like, yeah, they kind of have to do that.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's definitely very interesting bans. I think that Kiriko one, like you said, it is arguably the most replaceable part, but I do think the thing that kind of puts the spin on this quite literally is going to be that wrecking ball who will just be piling through that team. And if there's anyone that you wish you were on to get away from that ball, it's going to be Kiriko. If you have to go over to the Arn, if you have to go over on to the Baptiste, there is no ban now for this wrecking ball. So gonna have to see, can they adapt? I think most likely a look I'd most like to see from Project Devotion, if it's in their wheelhouse, would be this Juno Brig. You know, it's been very strong for quite some time, and yes, Juno has been toned down a little bit over the time, and Kiriko is kind of taken back over the meta. Brig as well has had their fair share of nerfs here and there, but they are still a pretty good competition, especially paired with this Junker Queen. But we'll have to see as we go into our next map here. Ilios up on the horizons for both of these teams, and we're looking to see a nice look, a pretty standard look. I do question Project Devotion. They've really put all their eggs into their queen basket in the past, but now they're going back over onto this dive with the Winston.
Yeah, Brig Juno with Winston, I'm personally not a fan of, but
I'm with you there.
If there's any team that can do it, I think Project Devotion can pull it off. And also pretty standard stuff from Cyril with Applejuice on this map. No Hogs, no Mulgars, no Reinhardt, just playing their strengths, playing their comfort.
Yeah, but this is kind of the issue. When you get Cyril with Applejuice into their comfort zones, they will just wreak havoc from it. Stennis finding the echo gap onto Jamal at the moment. Can anyone from Project Devotion turn this around? I mean, FlyHigh was attempting to try and trade, but no, it's just going to be Mordex balling about, having his merry way. Finally gets to be back on his main character. Finally gets to roam the lands free and just, unleash the kind of devastation we were expecting to see. Project Devotion, they have to shake things up. They can't just fall into the same pattern we've seen against this ball in the past maps.
Yeah, and I think their biggest issue on this map with these picks is going to be Juno having enough sustain to keep Joe alive here.
I mean, yeah, as you say it, a whip shot fells the friendly giant there. Joe has to wait back in the swarm and probably soon mess up his team. Joe's actually going to abandon the Winston there. No more Winston for us to enjoy. To need D.Va instead. Mordex has gotten wedged between, but no, actually he was the one wedging away at Project Devotion, as fate will be the hammer that turns that wedge into a crack that splits apart the whole team, and it's already 50% on the clock for Cyril with Applejuice at the moment.
Yeah, and I think so far we're really seeing the value of that Kiriko ban. It just feels like Project Devotion can't do what they want to do here. And just seeing Joe swap off of the Winston that he prefers to play over to the D.Va is just, yeah, this ban is hitting hard.
Yeah, I think right now it's just the DPS are kind of just taking 1v1s at the moment. I say that as Aishu finds 3 there by himself, it looks like. I mean, there is obviously the help of a Sam from Mordex, but that's not the way you win on Project Devotion. Jamal was going to go over onto the Cassidy, arguably a little bit more squishy, but has more of that threat now onto the ball, onto that Tracer, but the threat is all on him, and why am I seeing a Mercy? Oh, goodness, they must really... There must be something damn good about this Cassidy I'm about to witness, because the damage boost otherwise, it could have been on the Brig to then pack FlyHigh, but nope, he's out of the fight. It's 97% on the point, and so many ults available to see with Applejuice.
Yeah, Jamal has really good aim, but investing a Mercy into a Cassidy pocket, that's something I've never seen before.
Yeah, and I think it's for pretty good reason right now, as all those ults for Joe have just popped one by one, as FlyHigh will find, I think, the second trade there, but Joe finally going back up to the Winston, immediately not able to get any full playtime on him. Stennis yet again just assassinating the competition. And that competition is really looking to be, there's a lot on the fact that it's 100-0. The first control point we saw Lijiang was not this close, and the competition could be drawn to a close here in mere moments if Project Devotion do not start to fight back.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think even more that going out with the Juno here is not the correct call. I think when they were playing Monkey, just going out on Ana, trusting your Brig to stop the ball from coming in, maybe even hitting some good sleeps, and then like playing aggressive towards the enemy backline would have been a better call there than going to Juno, because Juno doesn't have enough sustain with a Brig to play in that kind of comp. And now we are seeing a bit more of a comfort pick from Project Devotion with the thing coming out.
Well, something I did not expect to see was the band effectively acting as a time machine here. So we've gone back to the original Jokes composition here. And hopefully Project Devotion looking to go back in time as well. And they will, looking to finally get things back under their control. Frogafan, a nice kill onto Mecha, who's on the Brig. Basically just sitting dunk against the double speed composition here. And Stennis as well, gone from the alpha threat to cowering prey under the stairs. Yeah, and this is just what you like to see if you're a Project Devotion fan. That's not so much without you finding a nice trade to speed bring them better. That's kind of all in from Serial Applejuice, but no, it's actually going to use to get Fate out. But now they have time to regroup for a second fight here.
Yeah, I think this composition plays way better into what Project Devotion has
my goodness.
had luck on so far.
Frogafan is just getting chased down there. Finally, we'll get back to the comfort of a nice pack from Yike, but it's not going to be enough as Sense's Beam just evaporating them. They're just moisture in the air. And, I mean, Jamal looking to try and slip maybe a couple of kills back and try and turn the fight, but it's going to take so much risk to keep him alive. And now Joe has invested that shout on the point. Yike has nothing to save himself, and neither does Joe, and Mordex is cleaning up, reminding us why, you know, he is the bull of this. You know, he is the bull, to be quite honest. I should end the sentence there because it's quite adequate in itself.
Yeah, if he is becoming the official ball of Crown Cup, absolutely. Yeah, I think Project Devotion is going to struggle a little bit with the sustain here if Joe can't go in and get those axes out. But if they can keep Jamal alive, he has proven to do enough damage on that Cassidy.
The Cassidy that's very, very gone. Very, very small pieces of Cassidy that can't exactly handle a gun here, but hopefully someone else can. A Frogafan will show that he can with a nice kill there, but there's a brick copy from Stennis, but a beat will instantly provide enough defense to turn into offense and shut down Stennis. Now, equal numbers finally. The ball, a knife in's going to force Shield away, trying to bash in, but not going to get that kill just yet. Fate, going to invest the Orbiter. I mean, it's powerful, but is it powerful enough? There's the Queen. I think a big connection there onto Fate, powered up there with Jamal's being to assassinate them. Mordex is still stalling this point for so long, and Jamal's in a small space with no escape. Neither is Joe, and I mean, we gave Mordex a title there, but to be quite honest, he's looking for only one title here, and that is Champion of Season 2. This could be a final fight here, Ebroth, and Project Devotion, they are down to the wire.
Yeah, and we also see Jamal swapping here after Caster Curse killed him. But yeah, it's got to be really difficult for Project Devotion to win out this fight at this point. They really need to lock in and win flawlessly from now on.
Well, that's already the first flaw. Can they find some way to mitigate it? Can they find a way to... Oh my... Okay, well that's... I mean, I was going to say they need to find a way to stabilize, but a pause has come out. I'm not sure where the disconnect has come through. We do apologize. Right as the action was getting intense, my heart was starting to beat there as Yikes was put to an end. And yeah, I mean, that's not the place you want to have a pause, but unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles here. Hopefully, we'll get it fixed for you all shortly enough. But I mean, it gives us time, and it gives Project Devotion time to really mull over their pretty dire circumstances at the moment.
Yeah, 93% on the capture for Serial with Applejuice there, and a couple of picks in. This is gonna be... We're gonna have to see like godlike plays from Project Devotion in the next couple of seconds of this match to hopefully get to see a map 7 in this grand finals.
Yeah, it's all gonna be on the last 4 remaining members of Project Devotion: Joe, Ribbit, Jamal, and of course, oh my goodness, how is my memory? Every time I get to the last person, I need to say the hit scan. It's Fly High, of course. So actually on the Trace, I believe, which I'm a little bit confused on the exact role is between these two players, but I mean, the Cassidy seems to be working out here and there from Joe. Jamal has definitely got the aim to back up the swagger that you need to play Cassidy, both, you know, in terms of a cosplay of him and also against the onslaught that Cyril Applejuice can just throw at any moment. We're back in the match, surely enough here. And I mean, we can see there just how low everyone is on the side. Yates out of the fight in more ways. I want out of the match as well. Project Devotion, they have to try and find a way to hold on. The Frogger fan is out of the fight. There's the rally from Mecca as well, but it's looking like a victory lap at the moment. Joe, nothing from him, nothing to turn this one around to avoid their fate. And Cyril with Applejuice, they will make a meal. They will make just a meal out of this grand finals. A meal that I probably will not partake in much myself, but they, I mean, you might be forced to now because, like you said, the stakes at the start, the grand finals has gone the way. Congratulations, of course, to them, but condolences to your to your throat for the allergy problem.
Probably shouldn't make promises in the first round of a tournament like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure more than happy that you can avoid, you know, suffering allergic reaction, because you made this quite wild and chaotic grand final a lot more bearable and understandable to digest. So hopefully you can avoid digesting that rather treacherous apple. But yeah, congratulations to all the members of Cereal with Applejuice, and of course a warm shout out to Project Devotion as well for getting to the grand finals, getting a couple of maps as well here and there, using their bans effectively to the best of their ability, and also having a pretty nasty Junker Queen definitely was the standout highlight here. So we can have a look back in more ways than one. We can look back at the bracket. We also look back at that match as a whole. But here was a journey that took us to this day, ladies and gentlemen. One and all, it was Cyril with Applejuice first slaying Los Pinguinos, then Project Devotion, then Bombadil running all the way to slay Project Devotion yet again at the end. And that lower bracket finals, you know, it's probably the highlight of the series, of course, outside of this grand finals. Bombadil, Project Devotion, both looking to get revenge against Cyril with Applejuice, but it was Project Devotion that were given their shot, but unfortunately, just a flesh wound from them. The crown has been laid bare, and it's all for Cyril with Applejuices to pick up and, you know, place upon their heads. And Ebroth, what a match, what a game, and what some plays we got lucky enough to see. How are your closing thoughts feeling on this match?
I think Project Devotion really showed a bit of devotion in this finals and in this tournament as well. Like, they got knocked down into the lower brackets after the second round, had to fight their way back through Bombadil as well, with their like also kind of weird compositions with the Junkrat one tricks. And they really showed some good Overwatch in this grand finals. Like, it kind of feels a little bit like a stomp, but it wasn't a stomp. Like, Project Devotion did everything they could, and they actually put some sticks in the wheels of Cyril with Applejuice there. Like, they kind of snuck some milk into the cereal, if that's that's kind of a weird thing to say when I think about it. But
no, I think it makes sense. They did try and bring some more normality against the wacky comps that Cyril Applejuice brought out. But eventually, it was the chaos that overwhelmed them. The storm, there was no center to escape to. There was no options to evade the win, because it did feel inevitable. They were the favorites to come in. But Project Devotion did not roll over. They died. They did draw blood and try their best to take and drag down Cyril Applejuice with them. But yeah, that is going to be the end for the champion bracket division here from Crown Cup. There will be more rookie matches, hopefully. I mean, I say that without not too much confidence, because, you know, we are still doing our best, but it is quite often a bit of a struggle to get this going. But hopefully that will be the case. And again, congratulations to Cereal with Applejuice, and we hope to see you and many more teams hopefully returning in the Royal Rumble, which should be coming. More announcements around the corner. We don't have too many details to share with you just yet, but keep your eyes peeled here and on the rest of our socials to do so. But that will be all from us over on the stream today. Our producer, Ben, our lovely observers, Mr. Screeper and Mr. Predator. Of course, my lovely co-caster, Ebroth, and myself, Natnif, to end this stream off here. But thank you all so much for watching, and we hope you have a lovely rest of your evening.